figured out what was going on.
Hey, maybe she can make it.
I might be wrong,
Well,
but
that's
I
what it
don't
looked
think
like.
so.
Looking online, playing with orders. That she had to order the whole 400.
I just
added
added her because of what she did.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
But it was part of him too, because he was really wrapped up in it.
Hello.
How's everyone doing this evening?
Yeah, well,
Give yourself a big round of applause for being here tonight. Woo! We're going to have lots of fun. We are going to be hearing from a very, very special woman and celebrating Star Consultants from 6 to 7 o'clock tonight. And then we're going to have a potluck. So please, if you'd like to stay and join us for our Mary Kay Thankful Night and our potluck, please feel free to do that as well. So I want to welcome you all here to our Mary Kay studio. Thank you so much for coming here tonight. We have 3 different Mary Kay units here, and so I'm really excited just to get to know everyone and just to really celebrate what is going on in the future of our Mary Kay businesses, not just our futures, but our future as a whole. So we'll hear more about that here after a bit. But what I'd like to do right now is I would like to introduce to you pretty amazing woman. You know, had it not been for her, I may not be in Mary Kay today. And so that's how it works. If we don't share with other people, we can affect their lives adversely. Did y'all know that? Well, I'm very, very thankful for Linda Siegel. Future Executive Senior Sales Director Linda Siegel started her business as a consultant 23 years ago and has been a sales director for 18 years. Prior to going into Mary Kay full-time, Linda worked as an RN in labor and delivery and taught childbirth education classes for hospitals in Manhattan, Kansas, which is very handy when she's your mentor and you're pregnant or like.
Maybe handy. Maybe I've got a big opinion and I'm going to let you know what it is.
But it's free.
And you better listen to me.
That's right. Oh, yes. And Linda's been driving free since 1993. Can y'all believe that? 1993. Earned 12 cars, with 3 of them being the beautiful pink Cadillac. Her highest commission check from the company is just over $7,400 in 1 month. How's that sound? Does that sound pretty good? Mm-hmm. Linda has been recognized in the Queen's Court of Sales one time and is extremely proud to have earned 85 stars on her star ladder of success during her Mary Kay career. I believe that deserves a big round of applause. And she has had the honor of representing her unit in the Circle of Achievement 7 times, with the highest honor being in the 450,000 Retail Unit Club. That is pretty fabulous. She has 4 first-line offspring directors and 2 second-line offspring directors to set the foundation towards building a strong national area. Her vision for her unit and area is to complete National Sales Director qualification by July 2014. Oh my goodness, I have chills. That's very exciting. That's good because my debut date is in 2015. All right. So, perfect. Linda's been married to her husband Gary for 35 years and he is amazing. She has an amazing family and they have 3 great sons. 2 are married and 1 is engaged to be married in June. Gary and Linda love spending time with their 3 wonderful grandchildren. Without further ado, let's go ahead and give it up for Linda Siegel, ladies.
Well, this is a pretty informal little time, so I want you to feel free to ask questions or verify anything with me. I just kind of wrote down the things that Jana wanted me to cover, and so feel free, anybody, to direct me a different direction if you want to. You are here because you are working towards finishing off that star, and I don't care how far away you are. December 15th is more than plenty of time away, and you can have a lot happen in a short amount of time. That's one of the most exciting things about Mary Kay, is it doesn't matter where you are right now. December 14th is what matters, where you are, and for being a star. And I will tell you, probably one of my favorite things is being a star consultant. I love to get the prizes. Although when I first started, I didn't think prizes were a big deal, but I soon found out it's because I hadn't gotten any. And when you start getting them, then you do like them. And if you think about it, I've been a star 85 times. Actually, I'm already a star for this quarter, so 86. That means 86 of those prizes. And that just amazes me when I think about it. And most of them are things that I would never get for myself. I mean, we can't, I don't know, I don't feel like I can justify getting some of those things. But if I'm going to pick out one of them, hey, I can have no problem with that. So if you can imagine looking around my house and seeing a lamp, a clock, a jacket, jewelry, different pieces of dishes, things like that. All of those have just been gifts from Mary Kay, just for doing our business normally. And you have to realize that to be a star doesn't take anything excessive, it just takes a steadiness. And steady, I always have said, I've never done anything flashy, but I've never disappeared, and I've never quit. If you don't quit, it will all come together for you with whatever you want. But when I first started, and my director, who is my poor sister-in-law, so of course I felt very comfortable just saying what I thought. You may think those things when you talk to your director, but you don't usually say them because you're not related to her. But I was related to my director, so I just felt pretty comfortable saying whatever. And I could not imagine ordering $1,800 wholesale in a 3-month period. I mean, who would ever do that? But then I had it broken down for me. That meant I had to order $600 a month. And that meant I had to do $300 in sales a week. And that meant 2 or 3 parties, or some sort of selling type thing in a week. Well, that's not so hard. But the big picture seemed next to impossible. So I would encourage you to always, whatever you're thinking about with Mary Kay, just think about what you need to do this week. And then do it the next week. And do it the next week. And you know, a great thing about Mary Kay is, like, if this week everybody kind of checks out, maybe you want to do something, but nobody's willing to, you know, play with you. Yeah. You can just catch up over the next couple weeks. We have that total flexibility. And one thing that is hard to do, but I think is important to do, is if you see that absolutely nothing's going to happen in the next couple days because everybody's concentrating on leaving town, fixing meals. And honestly, I've got 10 for dinner on Thursday, and tomorrow, between doing some deep house cleaning and fixing the turkey, I might make a couple phone calls, but I have learned through the years, release it, let it go, and focus on what I really need to do for those day or two. Then Friday and Saturday, and I've got family coming in on Friday too, so Friday may not be much of a Mary Kay day either. But release it and let it go, and enjoy your time. Don't be half in and half out, because you'll be frustrated with your Mary Kay business because you're not doing a good job with it, and you'll be frustrated because you're missing out on just relaxing and enjoying family time. So I would encourage you to relax and let it go. But remember, like I was talking to Kim, she's going home to her parents. This is her home, but home to see her mom and dad. And I would encourage her to be thinking Mary Kay, because there are great opportunities when you're with family. A challenge I gave to my unit was to take Satin Hands and treat all the people in the kitchen cooking and working hard and cleaning up to Satin Hands treatment. Don't necessarily try to sell it to them. Just do a Satin Hands treatment. Well, guess what? They'll remember that, and you can throw out there, perfect for somebody on your Christmas list that you don't know what else to get. Do Mary Kay that way. Or when you're laying around doing nothing, maybe your sister-in-law or your cousin or whoever you're with would love to just play in the makeup. For years with my sister-in-law, I always enjoyed getting together and doing facials. Whenever we were together, I did facials, but of course I never got anything. So one day I called her and I said, I guess I want to get that stuff. And she said, what stuff? She had no idea what I was talking about. Because for a long time, I loved trying it, but I didn't want to get it. And so you might do that. And you don't even have to sit down with the mirrors. Go in the bathroom and hang around like you're teenagers, and some of you may still be, and just play. It's okay. And then you're planting seeds. So maybe you're going to sell, maybe you're not, but you're planting seeds anyway. So as far as STAR is concerned, I think it's very important. To me, it shows you're serious about your business. If you're a STAR, you mean it. You're working on it. You aren't a STAR. The first time you're a STAR, if it's when you first come into the company, it might be because you made the investment. After that, it's because you're working your business. And think about what motivates you. Does it motivate you to achieve that goal, or does it motivate you to pick out the prize and work for it? Everybody's a little different the way they're put together on that. And so the main thing is just realize working steady gets the job done. So a little bit, Jana asked that I would share my eye story. And 23 years ago, next month in December, my sister-in-law was working on some sort of goal. And I think maybe she was earning a car. And she probably needed several more consultants, but she told her little brother, my husband, that she needed one more, and she wanted to get it done before Christmas because it would just be, hard to do when everybody's gone for Christmas. So he'd been watching her make money and earn a car. I think maybe she already had a car. Maybe she was getting another one. I don't know. But he thought that looked like a valuable thing. And so he thought I could do that, which kind of irritated me because I didn't want to do it. I had 3 little boys. I had a husband with a busy schedule, and we went to all his activities at school. He's a teacher and a coach. And I was working at the hospital, and I didn't want any other responsibilities, and I didn't want anything that took up a lot of space in my house because I didn't have that much space. Well, Mary Kay's not very big, so it really doesn't take that much space. And the first, I don't know how long, all my inventory was in the boxes that came in, turned so I could read the tops and know what it was. I mean, you don't have to have anything fancy to get it going. So I got started, but I said, don't expect anything out of me. I don't want to training, I don't want to do anything, but I did have a good time telling my friends and family what I was doing for shock value, because we were all shocked. And so that was pretty good. But then people started asking me for products and asking me for an appointment, and I didn't know what to do. So I had to call my sister-in-law and say, you need to get over here and tell me how to do this. And of course she was quite excited and was more than happy to come do some Mary Kay appointments for me. And whether you're new or whether you feel like you don't know what you're doing, just keep it in perspective. Women around your table just want to have a good time. And I work labor and delivery. I worked with women through their labors and helped them, get to delivery point, or on a rare occasion, I had to deliver a baby. And I thought, I can surely do a skincare class if I can help a woman get through labor. I mean, keep it, really, what's the big deal? And also, if you make an error in Mary Kay, what do? We go, oh, that doesn't look so good. Let's wipe it off and pick another one. What big deal is that? Now at the hospital, we don't make errors of any sort because we can't just wipe it off and start over again. So, that helped me keep it in perspective too. So, you've got to realize that this is a great business. It's not complicated unless you choose to make it so. And your customers don't care if you know everything. They just want to try what they want to try. They won't know if you do it the right way. Now, there is a better way to do things, so that's always good. But they won't know if you don't do it exactly right unless you tell them. Like I used to, be looking at them at the end thinking, something's not right. And then I go, oh, we forgot the mascara. I could have just said, oh, and now here you need your mascara. They wouldn't know that we didn't apply that just right before the end during the table close. But, you know, just keep it in perspective. They just want to try it. And if you don't know their answer, if you know where to look it up or who to call, they just want the answer. They don't mind that you can't spout it out like some of us can who've been in Mary Kay for many, many years and know what everything is. So the key is just to jump in and get going. Through the years, I also appreciated Mary Kay because I didn't come in with the goal to do anything specific. And what Mary Kay allows us to do is what, I can't think what the name of the national is, but she says, you peak to peak.
Cindy Williams.
Cindy Williams. You climb up the mountain peak, peek over and see if maybe you want to do what's over on the other side. And that's kind of how I grew my business. At first, you know, I didn't want to do anything. Then I didn't see anything worthwhile about recruiting people because I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, so why would I want to help somebody else because I couldn't? Well, that wasn't my job. That's my director's job. But all of us have the job when we're at our appointments to be sharing the career opportunity because we're in contact with that person and we may be the only Mary Kay person talking to that person who may desperately need what Mary Kay has to offer. So I gradually decided, okay, I'll start recruiting. I could use a car. And in the first month I decided to recruit, I got 5 team members and my first commission check was $799. So that kind of made a believer out of all of us around. And the thing was, the women that I was having at my appointments weren't new and different types of women suddenly that all wanted to recruit with me. I was different. I was sharing. I was listening to what they had to say to know, she is interested, you know, she has what Mary Kay can give her. She has that need and Mary Kay can give it to her. And you know, nothing has changed in the 20-some years I've been recruiting. Women have the same needs 20 years ago that they have now. They need extra money. They need flexibility for their family or for themselves. They need flexibility to fit around another job or their family. They need something to make them feel good. They may need something fun. All of those things were that way probably 2 years ago that I started working my business to today. None of it has changed. So we just need to listen, and I would challenge you to just listen to the people talking when you're doing your appointments, because they will say things that you go, oh my gosh, Mary Kay could help her with that. Oh my gosh, that would be perfect. She can have that taken care of with Mary Kay. If you start listening, just the table talk will tell you those things. I hear women talking about their job they don't like. I heard women talking about needing extra money. I hear women talking about needing something more flexible. All those things. And I will challenge you over the next several weeks to listen. And you will be shocked with what you hear. So when you know that she has a need, you can say, and she may not even know she has a need that Mary Kay can fill. But when you hear it, it makes it easy for you to say, you know what? This may not be anything you're interested in, but I would love to tell you about it so you can decide. So that's a challenge to you to listen and see what you hear. You'll be really surprised. So as I went along, I just moved to the next level. I decided once I earned my car, I remember my director saying, oh, now you can go for directorship, because we had to earn the car, then we had to become directors. And I said, nope, I don't want to do that. I'm sure I was her greatest frustration in life. But the next month, I had done some figuring what if my team was my unit, what my paycheck would have been. And I thought, she's getting that money and I'm not. And I definitely could use more money. And she deserved that money. She was the director and she was doing the director work. But I saw it as they're my people doing the work, and really, if I was the director, that would be my money. And suddenly, I was thinking, maybe I wouldn't be so bad. And I did realize I enjoyed working with women and teaching them to build their business and helping them to be successful. It was teaching women just like I taught women at the hospital. It was just teaching them a different topic. And so it was very parallel, and I enjoyed that. And so it made me realize I would enjoy being a sales director. But the great thing for me was that I didn't have to have decided that the week I became a consultant. There was no time limit on it. Now I will tell you, I wish I would have started sooner, gotten the vision a little faster, because I would have the benefits sooner, right? So that you can use that either way for you and your Mary Kay. You can know your Mary Kay will be there for you. But I would encourage you to think, if there's something about Mary Kay that you like and someday you want, why not go for it now? Don't do what I did and just kind of drag it out. It works, but faster is always easier if you can manage to do it that way. And managing it to do it that way works when you make a decision. We are only a decision away from anything. We've got to decide what we want, and as soon as we decide, it will happen. When I first started, I said I'll go to unit meetings when it's convenient. Well, when was that ever? It's never convenient. Even if you have nothing else on your schedule, is it convenient to get yourself here? You have to update your makeup, you have to comb your hair, you have to figure out what you're going to wear. I mean, if you have nothing else going on, that is something that's kind of inconvenient in itself. But a lot of women have other jobs, they may have children they have to juggle, they have to figure out how this person's going to get from here to there, and how's all that going to happen and come together, and it's not convenient. But once I made a decision to go to unit meetings, I never missed. So we're a decision away from anything. You think maybe you would like to be a sales director someday? Then make the decision and get started doing what you need to do. I have the impression from Jana that most of you here would like to grow your business and move to another level. And she asked me to address what it takes to do that, or what would be involved. The phrase from the company is 3 + 3 + 3. $300 in sales, 3 appointments a week, preferably classes, and 3 team building interviews will get you where you want to go. But I will tell you, if you're most comfortable doing 1 + 1 + 1, or 2 + 2 + 2, or 4 + 4 + 4, whatever it is, just do it. Just do something and do it across the board. Don't do a week, well you can do a week of 10 parties and rah, look what I'm doing, because more than likely the next week you'll be bummed out, exhausted, and have to catch up on everything. If you want to do a 10-class week to get things going, great, that's good. But I would encourage you to find your steady level. What you can do with a little bit of a push, along with the rest of the things in your life. Because then you're not going like this. And you will eventually get it done like this, but it'll make you crazy. It will totally make you crazy, because you'll be down here and then you'll have to drag yourself back up to here. Why not stay here? If you do 2 appointments a week, that's about 5 hours time. Now, if I told you that if you steadily did 2 quality appointments a week and worked those full circle, and in 4 or 5 months, you can have a free car in your driveway, would you figure out a way to make sure you did that all the time? Week in, week out? Well, you know what? You can do that. 3 + 3 will make it a little more steady, but if you can only manage 2 + 2 + 2 during your week, do whatever you can do to be steady. If you have to start with committing to holding 1 appointment, and notice I said holding, not booking. Those aren't the same thing at all, and I think you've all probably been in Mary Kay long enough to know. You can't put 1 on the books and have it hold. But if whatever you can do to keep that steady, to make sure you do something, and no matter what, and if it's Friday night and everybody's checked out on you all week long and you haven't gotten that appointment, get creative. Call your neighbor, call your sister, call anybody and say, I have to have a Mary Kay appointment before Saturday night. I just have to. Please, just get somebody. You know, just throw it together. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you, I've had a great appointment once when I met a friend at work. We went in the bathroom together on our break, did her makeup, and this, you know, at the sink. Okay, here, wash your face with that. Okay, here, rinse it off. Okay, now you're gonna do this. Okay, now, you know, here, let's try this foundation. Okay, that works. Do you like this or this for your glamour look? Because she's going back to work. We couldn't just leave her half done. And so, she and I left the bathroom, and I had a $100 sale. You know, there is a correct way to do it, but there are ways to be creative too. And sometimes we have to be creative. Like this week with a holiday, be creative. Maybe you're going to do facials because you're all staying at your grandma's and you've got several female family members still in the same house. Everybody's going to wash their face with you tonight before they go to bed. They're going to wash their face anyway. Why not use your samples? And then in the morning say, you can use it in the morning and I'll help you do a makeup look before we go shopping. You know, it can be, go with the flow, but always do something. Always commit to something. Does that address what you...
It does.
Okay. How much you do is going to affect how fast you grow. Now, I am all the time now, and these directors are too looking for women who are ready right now. We, to build our national area, need to have women who are ready right now. That means you don't maybe know quite how you're going to do it, but you're willing to do the work to get yourself to the next level. And so we have to start somewhere with your work level. And that's why it's important. But if you're willing to do something and stay consistent on it, you're going to see big results. You never know what you're going to get from your Mary Kay business. Jana and I were laughing about the different things we talk about, you know, what you get out of your kit. You know, some people look in there and think all that's in there is the samples. But actually, I looked in there and I didn't know that if I dug deep enough, there was a full-time job, that there was a free car every year or every 2 years that since 1993 or whatever it was, I haven't had to pick out a car, and certainly I wouldn't have a new car every 2 years if it wasn't for Mary Kay. One of the greatest things I'm thankful for that I didn't know when I was opening my kit that I was going to have was all my holidays and weekends up to me. We have a nurse here who understands that. I haven't worked at the hospital for more than 15 years, but I still appreciate, like you cannot imagine, that this week it's up to me, whatever my schedule is. Because I spent 15 years every other weekend, every other holiday, even though when I had 3 little children and I just worked part-time, I still had to work every other weekend and every other holiday, even though I only worked part-time. When you work part-time, doesn't mean you get part-time holidays, you still get the every other. And I always had to juggle around Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I had a brother-in-law who was a police officer. So between his schedule and my schedule and, you know, figuring out when we were all going to get together, and now I just get to be off. And I can't tell you how great that is. And my future daughter-in-law called and said, could you go dress shopping with us maybe December 1st or December 8th? And I said, let me look at my calendar to make sure I didn't already have something on there. And I said, yes. And you know what? Whichever day she decides, I'm not booking anything until I know what she's doing, because I'm not going to miss that. And those are things that were in my kit. And actually, my future daughter-in-law was in my kit too. I don't know if any of you heard that story. But there's lots of different things that are in people's kits. Like one of our national sales directors couldn't have children, and she ended up having a baby in her kit because one of her consultants had a family member who needed to give her baby up for adoption, and she connected them. If they wouldn't have all been in Mary Kay together, she couldn't have done that. She wouldn't have known that person. One of the most extreme cases is Priscilla McFeeters donated a kidney to one of her offspring directors. And her, the person who recruited her called her multiple times, and the lady rescheduled on her or said not now or something, like so many times that she was going to throw her name in her fireplace, but she didn't. And on that last time, she did hold her appointment, and she did become a consultant and later a director. And then when she needed a kidney transplant, Priscilla had the nudge from God to get tested to see if she was a match, and she was a perfect match. And there is no way they would have ever known each other except for Mary Kay. And then I had a consultant in my unit that I totally enjoyed, and we sat by her at seminar 2 years ago, and she's just so sweet and fun. And my husband and I kept saying, Tim needs to talk to her, be acquainted with her. That's my youngest son. And we just kept saying that through the whole seminar. So I went home and said, Tim, there's this girl that really you need to meet. And he had seen her because he'd been taking pictures at our car party, and she was there. And I very stupidly that day could have invited my husband and son to go out for dinner with us, because Rebecca and her consultants, whom by that time Lana was one of in her unit, and they could have gone out for dinner, and it would have been real easy for them to get acquainted with them, but I didn't think fast enough. And I spent that evening when I was there with him going, why did I not tell Gary and Tim to come with us to go to Olive Garden? I didn't. So I had to go the route of, Tim, you really should call this girl. Which he was like, what am I going to say? My mom said I really ought to call you. I got a basic problem with that whole theory. And so eventually he did call her. And they got engaged last month and are going to get married June 8th. So, you know, you just never know who you're going to meet that will make a difference. So not only have I had a full-time income with a totally flexible schedule, that I never had to miss any of my kids' events, and my boys have gone through junior high, high school, college while I've been in Mary Kay, and they've all been done from junior high to collegiate athletics, and I never had to miss anything that I was wishing I was at. I could be there. And so that is something else that Mary Kay gave me. And then the bottom line is Mary Kay can give you a full-time income if you want it. A lot of times I don't think people see the picture that this is more than just a little thing to do on Saturdays maybe, and go to an occasional meeting and kind of have a good time. If you want this to be an executive income, it will be. There are many women across the United States who have executive incomes. Several of our top directors make more money than the President of the United States. So you have to realize that this is just not just a little thing. This can be a career for you. I never dreamed it when I started, but it is for me now. And I am associated with the sharpest, most amazing women that I could ever try to be with. And the nurses I worked with were great. But there's another level of professionalism that we have when we attend Mary Kay events, when we go to Mary Kay meetings. Another level of education. And it's not all about mascara this and mascara that. It is about life skills that you will use with everything. Personality, understanding personality styles, understanding every part of anything that will make a huge difference to you, whether you use it in your Mary Kay business or whether you use it somewhere else. So all of those things are available to you if you just realize it and don't take it to at surface level. One thing I'm excited to talk to all of you about is our becoming a national area. And it's not something that only my unit can do. I am looking for at least 5 women in my unit to work with right now who are willing to work with that consistency and hopefully want to work fast to become sales directors because we do need to have 10 first line, which means consultants right out of our unit become directors. Like Lisa is a first line director to me, and several others are. They were in my unit and they became directors. Jana is a second line director because Lisa was out of my unit and Jana was in her unit and became a director. And we need a total of 20 directors, and they can be 10 first line and 10 second line. And what we need is not just for my unit, but for the units that you are in, to have women who want to take this business to another level and to work quickly to grow your business, become sales directors as well, because Lisa's unit has to be strong, and she can have numerous of the second line we need out of her unit. Jana's unit needs to be strong and meet the requirements, and that happens when there are women in her unit who are working to earn cars, build directors, move into Red Jackets, and to grow that way. We have to all do that. Kim needs to, from my unit, be growing, and I have several others who have the desire, but it has to be all of us working together. So it's not like I'm just visiting and your units don't make a difference. Our unit can't do it by ourselves. It takes all of our units being strong and having women who are saying, you know, I'm not real sure what this is all about, but I know that I would like to grow my business more. And I'm willing to do what you recommend to me to do to build my financial status, to build my level in the career path. Because each place you move higher in the career path, it's fun because you get to work with more women. You get to make a difference in women's lives, and you can have more money. Which, you know, if you don't want extra money, that's okay. But most women can usually use a little extra cash. I don't care if you give it away. Having more money gives you choices. You can help other people if you don't need it for yourself. And there are women who build their Mary Kay business so they have the money that they can work with something they're passionate about. And it's a vehicle. This business is a vehicle for you. It's exciting to me to get to work with Kim. We've known each other for many years. She reminded me when we kind of reconnected that she used to babysit for my boys. She wasn't one of the ones who got locked out of the house by them once. That was Karen Shirley. You know, it's great for me to reconnect with her in her life because we knew each other years ago and we've been able to connect back. But it is important for you to understand that if we all work together, how cool would it be to have a national area centered in the middle of Kansas? Awesome. There aren't any. There's couple in Kansas City, and there's a couple down by Wichita. But you know, here in the kind of the middle section, there isn't anybody. And how great would it be if our group was the group that brought a national area to the middle of Kansas? So I'm looking for women who would partner with me. I know these two women have definitely committed that they want to do their best, but they can't individually do it. It has to be other women who are willing to say, well, I may not want to do this, but I am willing to work my business with a steadiness and promise that I will do 4 appointments a week or 4 appointments a month. I don't care. But whatever you do to make yourself just kind of work steadily along. And we will find ourselves that way. We want to work with an urgency, and many areas are being built now in about 2 years. And really our 2 year, or it's less than 2 years now, a lot has to happen. We have to have a lot of women going out and building their business in the next year and a half. We have to work with an intensity and an excitement and a commitment and a steady moving forward all the time. But know that if you want to build your business in some way, all of us are going to be here to help you do that. And doing it, we will receive that national recognition. I got to talk on the phone today with Sean Key, who's Vice President of Education, something in Mary Kay. You see him on videos, you see him, and he said, your area is in prime position. You have the first line, you have the second line, you have growing, Lisa's group is growing, Jana's group is growing. We're in position to make it happen. They've noticed us at the company. But we have to build the foundation. So I'm hoping that you have heard something in my story tonight that makes you want to do something more with your story. Because you're writing your story right now. And how fun would it be to have a great party introducing our national area? It will be amazing. And I would like each one of you, I'll look around and go, well, she could do it, she could do it, she could do it, she could do it. I know each of you could do it. There isn't anything that any one of you can't do. So I hope you hear my heart on that and know that I would love to have you be part of building. It would make a huge difference. So with that, I can answer questions.
That sounds great. Oh, so Linda, who gets to stand on stage with you when you debut as a national sales director? Your area, who gets to stand on stage?
I think first and second line.
That's right. Who wants to stand on that seminar stage and just like... It's a big deal.
Yeah. The high I in her has thought of that.
I've got a little bit of everything.
I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good one. You know, I would have to pick a national song. I have a song that I know Lisa could sing.
And who, do you want to explain to them, who takes care of it? Since right now, we don't have a national sales director, we're in Ruby Go Give. So do you want to explain kind of how that works?
Many years ago, back in the old days when I was a consultant, we did have a national sales director, and she retired. So that meant we go into the Mary Kay Go Give area, which means all the ones who no longer have nationals. And it's a large group, and it's not real personal. You know, they know the $1 million directors, but they don't go down, I mean, there's lots of people. But when we have a national area, as your national, I would know you all personally because we are a closer knit family. And so I can be there to support better. The company does a great job. They give us a lot through the Go Give area. But the personal right here is not possible for them to do with thousands and thousands and thousands in the Go Give area.
That's true.
So we could have a little more, like we don't hear, the nationals hear what's kind of coming down the pipe with something new. And being in the Go Give area, we don't have a national go, don't tell anybody, but this is what's coming out next month. I could tell secrets. Just among us.
Yeah.
So that's something. But very quickly, as you were building our national area, immediately you directors would be able to be nationals as well, because your units were growing at the same time. In growing one, there we grow many.
That's very exciting.
Anybody have any questions about anything? I hope I've given you a little bit bigger vision of what you can have or do. Or...
Let's give Linda a great big round of applause. I think it's amazing. Thank you so much, Linda.
And I'm so excited that you invited me, because then I immediately called my consultant and said, last night I called her and said, what are you doing tomorrow night?